Yes, people. So this is one of the buildings that were constructed from that project. This project is actually a project that was done probably around 6 years ago, thereabout. And these buildings have been completed for around that time. And I've seen, based on my own experience, that thing has been in a situation where it has not been used for probably around 5 years. Whereas the whole plan was that thing would be used to bring tourism in the valley. And so the things were just constructed. It may have been used a few times, but for the most part, for years, this thing has not been used. Now, this thing is part of a grant. I think around it was 15 million euro, and they constructed these buildings and the other buildings on Roots Farm, which I will show you. And they planted some plants around the road going towards Dennery. And also there was this thing where they did a footpath in Denny Riviera for it wasn't a footpath, it was actually a trail for tourists to walk on. Yeah, that happened in Denny Riviera. And these things have not been used. And the whole thing about those things is like the people write proposals saying that the poor people in St. Lucia need help to create employment in tourism and all of that. But this, from the time they build these big projects, the actual part where poor people are supposed to benefit from those things, they're not really serious about having it done. So it seems as if the whole thing is to get a lot of big money, friends, politicians, everybody get involved in those things, and at the end of the day, the people that's supposed to be benefiting from the project, there is not any urgency in terms of these people actually benefiting from these projects. So that's the building they have. That's where the police station used to be at Lakai. And I'm going to show you what the other things at Roots Farm that were done. So this is the highway from Lakai going towards Denry. Some plants were planted there as part of this project for towards the end of that stretch. All right. Yeah, so we on Roots Farm now, and I'm showing you some of the things that were done as part of that project, where they intended to bring the tourism dollar into the rural communities of the valley. So this is one of the things here above here, and there's this thing here. It is over a bridge, gazebo, or whatever it is that they may choose to call it. Looks like a gazebo to me. Alright. But it's a bridge here, over the bridge. So these things were done at Roots Farm. As you know, Roots Farm is a farm that was and is still controlled by the Rastafarian group in the valley. And in times past, many years ago, they would produce rice in this area, produce rice and things like soybean. And they had a project where they were working extensively with, I think it was the Taiwanese, and they were given equipment to process the rice. And there was one time it was really a place where serious work was taking place. Children used to come here and get involved in the consumption of soya ice cream. So that place was a very lively place at one time. Now this is another building that was constructed as part of that project to bring tourism into the valley. Again, it was a 15 million euro project. And in the village, in the village of Denry, there is a small wooden structure that was constructed, and some houses were painted along the way, along the main road. but it is not significant enough for me to go down there to show you. So this is again one of the buildings. So that would be one of the main processing places that they would have available for their rice. That's one of the main process places that they would probably process rice and other things. So this is Rose Farm. But as I told you, this project, this like the main building where the police station was, that building has been there unused for purposes of tourism for about 5 years. So from the time that project was open, that thing was completed. The thing has not been used really for the purpose in which it was constructed for the most part. So what I'm saying is people are busy working on these proposals, getting European money, big money to build projects. And it seems to me that the main reason for that is for fellas and their friends to get paid. But when the project is completed, there is no urgency to make sure that poor people and people in the community benefit from these projects. Because it seems as if, in the first place, the whole objective was to get people, friends, and their contacts to benefit from those things financially. Now, what happened is, this is how countries and societies perish. There are people who know of these things that are happening, but they will not try to stop it. They will not try to speak against it. They will go with it, especially if they're benefiting. Or there are a lot of cowards in this country, just because they do not want to be victimized. They will let the whole country burn, because their whole thing is a lot of St. Lucians, especially those that think that they are educated. Their whole thing is to get a job making a lot of money, and they don't really care about nobody else or nothing else. They're concerned only about themselves and their families, their children, and they don't really give a damn about nobody else. And so that's really how it is. You will get situations where in other countries people will be revolutionizing things for the benefit of their people, not in this country. Certain people that you would have gone to school with from China and other places, Japan, when these guys go back to their country, if they study engineering, they will design equipment to help to make it easier for their family and their friends and their community to process rice faster and better. How many people that you know of our people who actually go and study, get educated, and do anything that will benefit poor people? Everybody think that they deserve a good job. And they will see atrocities upon atrocities happening. The poor people will suffer, and they will do nothing to ameliorate the plight and the suffering of poor people in the communities. All of these fellas, most of people who go and get educated, they get and get certificate. That's not education. They come back and it is just they're there for themselves. They're there for themselves. It is easier for a farmer. You go to a farmer's place, he'll give you a yam, he'll give you something. But a lot of people who are educated do not help nobody. For the most part, the educated people that we have that help people are teachers. Are the teachers. And even sometimes you have other professionals helping too, because there have been times when I was teaching, for example, they would have students with problems, medical problems, and you'd write some doctors, and they would do the things for free. There's a boy I knew. He had an ear problem, and the fellows help him for free. Yeah. But a lot of them people in this country, they don't help nobody. Them people are just greedy. The bigger the job they have, the more greedy some of them people are. And so when they're in a position to help people or to help poor people, they do not do nothing. If they see things going wrong in the country, they will not say nothing. Because they believe like if they speak, some other person will stop them from all the bread that they're eating. So that is the problem you have in them places. And sometimes the worst people are in the country, for what I have seen, the worst set are the people that have this fake education. Fake. If it cannot be used to benefit your people, it is useless. No, your papers are useless. If it is that you get degrees, you get certificates, and you cannot use your knowledge to enlighten your people or to make life easier for them, might as well you burn your certificate. It is useless. That's why some of them fellas, they're so useless. It's at the end of their life. That's when they want to play like they're good. They want to do this, they want to do that. When you all had all your strength, you all fought against people. You all step on heads to get where you all were in this country. But that is just a side thing. What let me go back to my topic. What I'm saying is, if it is that you're going to spend money, get grants to build them, to make them projects, when the projects are completed, you all should have the same urgency to see to it that the project is implemented and poor people can make a living out of them things. You can't have a project $15 million and when it is finished, you have no urgency for poor people to get a job there. Where all them tourists you all say that would be coming to the valley? Where are them white people that you all say would be coming and spend money in the valley? The thing is, every man make the $15 million spend, euro, every man get their cut, every man get their money, so they don't really care about the poor people now. All the proposals that you all write saying how poor people will benefit, poor people will get this, they'll get jobs and employment and all of that. Where is that part now? Every man barely full from the project, so no man care about the poor people no more. These are some of the buildings that were constructed. As I'll show you, that concrete building here, these two shade buildings. These things were constructed as a result of that European fund project. All these other things that we see there were there already. And there's the trail. There's a trail in the river so that you could walk through the forest. That thing was done too. Now, right now, I'm not going to try to go on that trail because this thing has been abandoned for a while. And we know a lot of the farmers, they stopped farming. And I will not go and put myself in a situation where I will encounter a poisonous snake there. Yeah. So that is just a nutshell of the project. Denry Village, they painted some houses that were close to the road. There's a small wooden structure that they constructed in the village close to the sea. The police station, where the police station was at Lakai, they constructed a new building there. These little buildings on this farm, the trail in the river. They planted some palms and some trees, some horticultural plants along the highway from Lakai, going almost to the end of the stretch before you meet the hill going to Monva. And that is essentially what the project is. $15 million. Everybody get the people who work on the project get their money, the contractors and everybody else. But the most important part, implement it for poor people to make a living out of it. Because when you wrote your proposal to the English people or to the European Union, you told them that a lot of poor people would be getting employment and that you would be bringing tourism to the rural areas. That was good. The AU people, they love to hear things like that. They give you the money. But now, they part for it to be implemented for poor people to make a living. We ain't seen that happening for years. Over 5 years, we ain't seen that happening. We not seen that thing happening. Look over there on the other side. On the other side of Roots Farm. You can't see it from the road. But there are 2 pumps that were constructed for irrigation. And these things are probably more than $1 million. And that thing was never used. And it is there. It is there. People ran up, people took some of the part of the roof. They pump freeze already. When we implement project, it is not about big capital projects to bring money for people to have contracts and things like that. But they're supposed to be, the most important part is the implementation, man. The most important part is the implementation. Implement the project for the people that you claim who will be the beneficiaries of this project, so that they can get the employment that you say that they're going to get. But we have a lot of people in this country, they're seeing these things are happening, and none of them are blowing the trumpet. How many people are standing up for poor people in this country? How many people are there to see truly that the poor people make a living in this country? How many of them? Look, every time a government is changed, they have big inquiry saying that people misappropriate funds and all of that. At the end of the day, they do that just to bring political shame on the other party that left office. But nothing never happened. People are protecting their friends. And I'm tired of telling them, St. Lucian people, these people are playing a game. C'est moun sa ka jouer exote. C'est moun ka jouer accordé, you know, like les moun ka he a sauce. Labour Party ek flambeau ka he a sauce ek se moun St. Lucia ek se voters la. Ek se yo yon ki ka really vin go ek manje ek yo ka he game exo ek so pa ka realize sa ka le. But this is it. I just always wanted to say that this is a 15 million euro project. 15 million euro project. Project finished. And they said that they were going to bring tourism in the valley. This thing has been more than 5 years and we never see no tourists in the valley. So once the fellas who constructed the thing, the fellas who get all the big contracts, once they get their money, to hell with them poor people, to hell with if any poor person getting any job, to hell if any tourists come in here. They don't care because they make their millions already. That is how them fellas move. I am the poor people's governor.